Swami Vivekananda. So he's the only one who says like it's been Vedas was 1.3 billion years ago, but even he didn't know the authors. But he says it came from Brahma. Brahma dictated to the first early rishis. So that's how it's been transmitted, been preserved. But yes, we do have very old copies of Vedas, even before the Old Testament and all. So we do have the copy of Vedas, but we don't know who wrote them. That's about all 4 Vedas, same thing. Very old books, we don't know who wrote them, but it's from Rishi Muni. The Rishi Muni is like the pious people. All 4 books come from there, right?
Are there multiple versions or pretty?
So actually, all of them are in Sanskrit, right? And each one, there are chapters and chapters and chapters of it. So there's like, they are not like a compiled book format. They do have some compiled books. Okay, yes. Thank you. Inshallah. This is the Bhagavad Gita. That's what the Hindus always give, Bhagavad Gita, which is, I tell them, this is not your book anyway. But anyway, that's a different topic. We'll come to that, inshallah. So the 4 Vedas, like brother asked, are there multiple versions of it? Actually, the Sanskrit, they have parts of it, different places. Right? If you combine them, for years, they didn't let anybody even get access to the Sanskrit collection, right? But in the 1800s, there were some people who did a lot of, the Christians are the ones, may Allah guide them, if they are alive or they are dead, hopefully the guy become Muslim, I don't know. But anyway, they are the ones who did, because they want to convert them to Christianity, they went after them and forced them somehow in a good way, by gift, whatever, to learn Sanskrit. So first ones to start learning Sanskrit were the Christians, who learned Sanskrit from the Hindus. And they had a long, pressure to not teach Sanskrit to anybody, right? There were some Muslims who learned before, but that was the one. So I think Sir William Jones is the guy who first learned Sanskrit and translated all of the Vedas. And if you Google it, you'll find it. Sir William Jones Vedas. If you Google it, you'll find all of them. He has all the chapters in, and he tried to even keep the poetic form. Because many of them, they are actually poetic sayings, right? They call shlokas. Because they are shlokas, which is like poem, like couplets and all. So he tried to keep the poetic form intact. He translated in English, he went extra mile to keep the poetic form. But how good of a translation is debatable, right? Because of course he was a Christian, so he was translating it. Any reference to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and now he won't keep it. But he translates like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioned in some of the Vedas, Athar Veda and all, we talk about it. He translates the praiseworthy, which is what they did with in the Bible also, right? They called him Spirit of Truth and Comforter, not the Muhammad, which was actually the word. So here the same thing he also did, Sir William Jones, but that's one of the translations. Or Dr. Pran, you can look up, yes.
When was this?
He did it 1833, I think. 1833, around that time frame, early 1800s, 19th century basically, early 19th century. He's the one who translated. Look up, Sir William Jones, I think I have a name later in the slides, and Dr. Pran. These are the two. Dr. Pran was an Indian guy himself who did that, totally educated. They translated, you can see all of that. But now coming to this, okay? So have you heard of Upanishad? Right, Upanishads? So Upanishads are very popular. Upanishads, actually people think Upanishads are another Veda. Upanishads is not a Veda. Every Veda has an Upanishad at the end of it, which is like a tafsir of the Quran. The tafasir. The Upanishad is the tafsir of the Vedas. So Rig Veda will have an Upanishad for it. Athar Veda will have a Rig Veda for it. So all of these Vedas will have an Upanishad for it. And then Samhita is a free area where anybody can add anything, saying it adds to the same collection, right? So they have maybe Rig Veda has maybe some 80 some chapters, so they'll have 20 different chapters more as Samhita for Rig Veda. Somebody will have 10 more. That's why Zakir Naik always says, like there were these many shlokas in the beginning, we have 20 times more. Where does all these shlokas come from? People keep adding it. That's what the Samhita comes from. Like more, keep adding and adding and adding. So there are different explanations. Brahmana is one. And Aranyaka is what, when you go to a temple, they'll mostly talk about Puranas, some of the Puranas, and talk about Aranyaka, because Aranyaka talks about sacrifice. Like Durga Mata, where they talked about Durga. Durga is all about sacrifice. You sacrifice an animal, sometimes sacrifice a human, they do all of that. All of that sacrificial artifacts come from Aranyaka. It has different sacrificial practices, different rituals. If you want to do this, what do you have to sacrifice to get that, right? All that comes from that book. And then they have Upanishads also, which talk about more. And Puranas are another book. So, okay, I forgot to talk about this itself anyway. So there are 2 types of sources in Hinduism of books. One is called the Shruti and Smruti. Right? Shruti and Smruti. What is the difference? Shruti and Smruti. Anyone knows the difference? I talked about it.
It's coming from God.
Listening and the memory.
Yes, actually, from memory. So basically, Shruti and Smruti. Smruti means that something that has been memorized by people, and like oral narrations. and Shruti is what has been written down, right? So Vedas are actually physical copy of books. That those are all Shrutis. That's all. It will be Bhagavad Gita would be a Shruti account to them, not account to me. But anyway, that's a Shruti also. And Smruti is what people have orally translated over the years, right? That's what it is. Shruti and Smruti. These are all Shruti.
Excuse me.
Yes.
How about like when people say Shruti is like things which come from the sky?
Yes.
And
Yes.
they refer to as revelations.
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So all these Vedas, Rig and all, they refer as these are revelations during our times, in old times. How do you say this? It's not
Yeah, we can say that written books, because they came as books, they were revelations also. You can say that. Some people translate it. Some pundits will say Shruti means what's written down. When some people will say it's a revelation coming from God. Both are not wrong or right. Because we believe, like before even, what do you call it? Apart from the 4 books, there were many sahaif that came to many other Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, right? So that's why, like Nuh alayhi salam got so many sahaif, 50 sahaif, I come to some hadith. So he got sahaif, there were booklets. So some of these can be referred to, our ulama believe that some of these are booklets from them who were tampered. And that's why they have reference of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all, because Allah says, I reveal about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and about Akhirah the same laws even before to all other prophets, right? Allah says that. So yes, you can say that's the source. And this is the Smruti. So this is the most common one, right? Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita. Yes.
Like, how do you like compare their literature like to ours? Like, what's their belief? Like, because we believe in Wahi and how it was written down. What's the concept behind these Vedas and how?
Okay, that's a very good question. He asked, the brother asked, how do you compare our books to their books, right? Our books, we believe, Jibreel alayhi salam came and it was Wahi to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was preserved by writing down and in memory. That's how we have the Quran till this day. Same as the Hadith. The Qudsi came from that source. Rasul narrated himself, that's a Hadith. That's our narration source, right? And what about the Hindus, right? They don't believe that there is a revelation, but they believe same like the Christianity. Like Christians say, this has been revealed by the Spirit. The Holy Spirit comes and reveals. So what they believe is they were Rishi Muni, the pious Rishis is like the Pandits, very pious ranking Pandits and all. It was revealed to them not through some angel coming down, but God would speak to them. That's what they believe. God would speak to them, wrote down, and some of them, actually most of them believe it's not that, it's God Himself who are, every Rishi is actually a form of God. They're God incarnate. So he himself is writing it. So that's why they say, if it's written by a Rishi, it's actually God Himself, God, Brahma came to that guy, the Atma of God came to this guy, that's how he wrote it. So that's why they believe God Himself is writing it. Some, even Hindus will argue, Veda entirely is from Brahma himself. How they say that? Because we know Rishi wrote it. We said no, because those Rishis were actually God who came at that guy. So he wrote the book. So that's why it's all from God. That's how they do.
Brahma is their like main god?
First, most of them believe a main God, but not all of them believe that. That's true. Because now, because of Krishnaism and all, they believe Krishna is the main God, not Brahma. That's what they believe. Krishna is like, have you seen Hare Ram, Hare Krishna people who are raising? They believe Krishna is the main guy. Brahma is not the main guy. He says, they say Krishna was hiding himself, he revealed it later on. That's why the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita and all, Krishna revealed himself and the Krishna is the main God. That's what they talk about. Yeah. Okay.
They have this statues on the car, Ganesh.
Ganesha.
He's not the main god?
No. Ganesha, like I said, Ganesha was actually not even the main, even today, nobody believes Ganesha is the main god. But of course, Krishna, and they believe Ganesha has a very big role in even writing of Bhagavad Gita. And Ganesha has a big role in it.
The South
Because,
believes Vinayaka, the Ganesha.
yes. What he said, sister?
In South, Vinayaka, that's Ganesha being worshipped.
Yes, Vinayaka, Ganesha. Yeah, but they don't say that Vinayaka or Ganesha is the main god. The South Indians mostly they believe Vishnu or Shiva is the main god, and Krishna is more of North India and all. They believe Krishna is the main god. But Ganesha is Ganpati or Ganesha or Vinayaka is one of the gods, but not the main god. But they do have Ganpati in their heart. Yes.
Where does Rama fit in this hierarchy of God?
Okay, so we'll talk about Rama also later on. Rama and basically Sita and Rama is very important beliefs also. But now they're trying to promote Krishna more because of some of the reasons we'll talk. That's the thing. But that's another good point he said. So all this are Smrutis, Ramayana, Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. This is the Bhagavad Gita. Normally when Hindu you talk to, they'll give you this book, Bhagavad Gita. Even the people at Union Square and Times Square, when they give you, they charge $5, but they'll give you this Bhagavad Gita book. It's very funny, last weekend we were giving Dawah. So one of the guys, he was on a bike And so he approached a guy. He was a Hindu, a white guy who was wearing Hindu clothes, and he was giving dawah of Hinduism. And one of our guys from our team, Dawah team, like Ali, you know Ali from Islam, Ali and Muhammad Qasim, they approached the same guy, right? So he said, oh, $5. And they said free. So the guy looked took the Quran because he was giving free while they were saying $5. But that was a funny thing. But anyways, yeah, they give the Bhagavad. You saying something, brother?
I'm like, we're already confused with the names and stuff, so how these people they keep up with this?
I agree with you. But thing is, it's like a belief system, right? That's why not everybody believes in everything. They believe in 2 or 3 more popular ones, right? For example, now if you say a person who has been growing up doing a Ganpati worship like Vinayaka or Ganesha or Ganpati, for them Ganpati is everything. Because they were never taught, they don't go, like us, we go read the Quran every day. They don't do that, right? They just go to the temple, whatever the Pandit says, hear and go. And they don't go temple every day. They're not like us. They go on Diwali or some special festival, Dasera or whatever, and they'll do that. And the big thing that happens everywhere is bring Ganpati home. And so Ganpati is a big thing. So you think Ganpati. Right? They don't know all the names. Some South Indian will know Vishnu and Shiva. They know a few names, but one common name is Parmeshwar. They say Bhagwan or Parmeshwar is a common thing people know, and plus a few, Lakshmi and all. Yes.
So within themselves, they have so many groups. Do they get along well, or they have?
No, they have that their caste system, and they don't get along well. They have, as Allah says in the Quran also, right? That تحسبهم جميعا قلوبهم شتى. That you think they are united, but they actually hearts are disunited. They are like
We have
big
the same
groups.
problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But at least we have something to relate to. They don't, so that's at least you can unite them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, right? Allah united us on the love and the Quran and Sunnah, but they have nothing to unite on. So they have disagreements, yes. Like for example, my manager, he believes Vishnu is the main god, right? The 3 lines across guy, right? So he has so many girls. He's not married. He's like 33 now. And 33, I tell him, man, what's happening to you, right? Already I have my daughter getting married, inshallah, and you are not even married, like few years younger than me. So he says, yeah, I need to get married. But, but most of the girls are from the Shiva group, not from the Vishnu group. So he doesn't get married to them because from a different group. That's a big problem, yes. So for them, the different god is, no, if I marry her, then she'll come and she'll do worship Shiva while I'm worshiping Vishnu. So it's a big problem. So yes, they don't get along. Those problems are already there. So there's so many. Okay, so now Sutras and Shastras. So people, when the Hindus, they read these books mostly. They read Gita, they read the Shastra and the Puranas. They will read all of these books. Other books, nobody reads unless they are like Pandit or somebody really. Chakrabarti is like a very high rank. Like we have Alim and Mufti, they have Chakrabarti. Chakrabarti is like a very high rank Hindu scholar. And that's why they have Swamis and Chakrabartis and all. They will read those books. A common Hindu has never read Veda usually. That's why if you tell them about Veda, I ask them to refer to it, they usually surprise and show him the verses and all, refer. If he is really seeking the truth, he'll change, inshallah. So Bhagavad Gita, and who wrote Bhagavad Gita, we'll talk about it later in a different slide. Who wrote Bhagavad Gita, what is the source of this knowledge, when did it come from? And Ramayana and Mahabharata is just the story books. Ramayana and Mahabharata. When I was a kid, that's how my interest came into Hinduism. I never became Hindu, but I started reading and learning about them. It was by watching about Ramayana and Mahabharata. Very interesting story as a kid, right? So it's very, very interesting. How the Pandavas and how they fight and everything was like, wow, it's so interesting. You like people like war, right? The war and games of war. That's what it is. It's all about that. Anyway, so now I'll talk about authenticity, right? So all the Shruti authors, like I say, what was the Shruti? Shruti and Smruti. Do you remember? What is Shruti? Give an example of one Shruti. The Vedas. Yeah, Vedas. All Shruti came from like the two, we can say, came from God according to them or written down. That's Shruti. And Smruti is what memorized and transmitted, like Bhagavad Gita and all, is Smruti. So all the Shruti authors are known. We know the author of this book, of course. We know about this, who wrote. But Ramayana, Mahabharata, also there are many authors for that book. Even this one, there are many authors for that book, right? But we know one of the early authors. Yeah.
They say Valmiki, right?
Yeah. But Valmiki also, there is another person who wrote even before Valmiki. And then Valmiki added to it, and more people added to it. That's what happens. And in the Quran, we have the Arabic. The good thing about the Quran is that, alhamdulillah, we have the Arabic Quran. So people can add in the translation. We cannot add in the Arabic part, right? That's why we can easily throw out whatever is added. Why? Because it's not in the Arabic Quran, alhamdulillah. But that's why I have to tell this. Please, very, 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 very important for all of us to memorize the Quran and make our kids memorize the Quran. Otherwise, we'll be in the same boat. If we don't do it, in a few 100 years, we'll be gone like them, So I don't know whether the world lives that long, but that's why very, very important to preserve the Quran in our hearts, not rely on the book. People think, oh, we have the cell phone, we have the Quran everywhere. No, otherwise we'll be in the same boat as them. It's very, very important to memorize the Quran, keep it in memory, so inshallah it will never be lost. That's a very, very strong point. Anyways, all the Shruti authors are unknown. Nobody knows who wrote them. We talked about who wrote them. Smriti are much later works. Shruti, 15th to 5th BC. And we do have some relics from very old, before the Old Testament, right? So that's why we can say Vedas are the very... So this is the guy who actually wrote the books like Veda Vyasa. It's called Veda Vyasa. This is the guy. It's a very strange story, how he's born. So basically, they say there is a Maharishi Parashar, they call him, right? Anyway, I don't know whether this name you might have heard. Veda Vyasa, people who lived in India, they might have heard that Veda name. So this is the guy actually who's attributed to writing like some of the Upanishads, some of the Puranas, some of the other books also. And then how he was born, they say this guy, Maharishi Parashar and Matsya Gandha. Matsya Gandha means fish smell, right? So there was a lady who used to be always like, what is it called? The lady who controls the boat. It's a team of a captain, like I don't know. So she used to ride the boat all the time. She used to smell like fish. So she meets this guy, Maharishi Parashar,